in December of 2018, had my plan of what I wanted to do for my business. I had my goals set. I had planned on going forward with, for me, was the Instant Pot account. I really wanted to do interior design, but I knew that a lot of people were wanting more Instant Pot things. And so I just felt like there's a lot of hype, a lot of traction, and a lot of need there. So I was going to go ahead and choose my logical brain and go forward with that. Well, I went to this event the end of December at an entrepreneur meetup. We were all going to get together in a big room, and all of us were just going to get our design boards together or vision boards together. And so I walked in with some of my images that I had printed off from Pinterest that were things that I had, like life goals, things that I didn't expect to get done in a year, but just life goals that I wanted to have done at some point. So I went ahead and went to my Pinterest board, printed those things off, brought them to the event. I brought my board to the event, and I brought some magazines. And then at the event, I was able to switch around, and we were all able to share different magazines. So I was able to see new things that I hadn't seen before. And I decided to let the magic of my vision board and just come alive, and let the magic of listening to my inner self and my intuition come alive. So I just started looking at these images in the magazine. I just would go through, and if it caught my eye, I would just rip it out and save it later. I was started thinking like, well, why am I ripping out this? This doesn't have anything to do with Instant Pot. Like, how is this going to align with these goals that I had set for myself like 2 weeks ago for the year of 2019? And I didn't quite understand how those things were going to happen, but I decided to keep trusting my gut and keep going with the process and continue to just pull things that were drawing my attention and drawing my interest. And that made me feel like alive, that made me get excited, or just kind of just like when I would turn the page, I was like, no, I need to cut that one out. I would go back and do that. And I wanted to think it, but I was like, no, I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to trust that I'm going to be pulling things that inspire me, and I'm going to figure it out later how it's all going to make sense. So after I did all that, I cut everything out. Then I was like, oh, I need some words. Then I went back through some of the magazines and I looked for words, because words are powerful too. So I started looking at like word phrases and things like that. And I was really confused at myself at being drawn to certain word phrases. I'm like, why am I cutting this out? Trust that my inner self, that my gut, that my inner knowing, that the universe, God, knows what they're doing with me. So it knows what I need best. So I decided to go ahead and do those things. And now I'm going to talk about the board. I'm going to scoot a little closer so you can see better. So first off, I was asked by a friend to go to a conference called Alt Summit back in November of 2018 for the following April in 2019. And I was like, oh, this is a really big conference. I don't know if I can afford it. I don't know if I should be at that level yet or whatever. But I was like, you know what? No, I'm going to do it. And shortly thereafter, I found out that Joanna Gaines was going to be the opening speaker. And Joanna Gaines is a huge example to me of following your calling in life, following your passion. You don't have to have a degree to be an interior designer, and that she shows up to the world with her whole heart and as who she is, and not at the world's pace. And so I love that, and I love that she's an example of that. So she's a really big example of that to me. So I put her on the board, and then so when I found out that she was going to be the speaker, I was like, oh my gosh. A few weeks later, I found out that Better Homes and Gardens was also going to be at the same conference, and I was floored. Like, I literally, my mind was blowing up. I was like, okay. I didn't even know. I had always dreamed of being a part of Better Homes and Gardens, either as a featured home or working or being a stylist or somehow ever since I was a child. So the fact that I was going to be able to, and I have been able to meet with some of the magazine editors for this magazine at that conference, blew my mind that this was even a possibility. Like, in a way that I never would have expected. That's the other thing that's amazing, is when you create your vision board, a way that you think you're going to achieve that goal is not going to be the way it comes. Almost hands down is never, like, it seriously blows my mind the way that I thought I was going to achieve these things or they were going to come into my life were not the how that I planned on. So be open to having a different how. Okay, so this, I wanted a more beautiful, comfortable workspace. I'm currently in the process of getting that. That's going to be finished in January, hopefully. But I started the process in 2019. I wanted to be what I do is because it's coming from the root of loving people, and I do. And then here I was planning on going on a girls trip to Belize with some of my friends. So that happened. This was a trip. This is Italy, and I had always wanted to go to Italy, and I didn't know how that was going to be possible. I got a phone call back in around March or April saying, hey, would you be interested in doing like a food tour with your audience and whatnot? And we could do it in Italy. And I was just like, oh my gosh, didn't even think that was coming. Never would have planned on it coming from that avenue. I was just assuming that would be me and my husband saving up for money and going on an Italy trip someday. But that was crazy. We didn't end up planning out that trip just yet. We put it on pause because of some other factors. But the fact that this got touched upon blew my mind. Okay, we really wanted a dog. We finally got our doggy in July. And then what's this one? Oh, this is part of Belize too. And then this is just my style. I love vintage things. I love interior design. So this was inspiration. I love the colors. This is my dream house. This image and also this image are both inspiration pictures for my dream house. And the reason why they're on this board is because I always dreamed of having my dream house. But in January, so literally just a few weeks after I made this board, my husband got a job offer in Arizona, and we were very seriously contemplating it. In fact, for 5 months of 5 months of 2019, we were planning on moving. We're trying to make everything to work out. We got our house ready. Look, open house. I thought this meant that I was going to start staging homes and helping people for like when they're selling their home, and that was going to be an open house. Nope, that was almost my house because we almost listed our house for sale. We got it appraised because he said if I agreed to move to this small town in Arizona, which I love Arizona, but I wanted to have at least a bigger city to live into, and it was a very small town. He said, if you are willing to move there, we can build your dream house. And I was floored because now I was going to have the opportunity to look into getting my dream house. So even though we decided to turn that job offer down, again, other reasons, but because this was touched upon and it was a very serious contemplation, it felt like the universe, God was saying, hey, I'm watching out for you. I'm listening to you. It's still coming. Let's see what else. Some of these other things like the bedroom, I initially did it because I felt drawn to this because I was like, okay, maybe this means that because I need more rest, I need to get more sleep at night, I need to feel more peaceful, and I need to do that. So that's why I did that. Turns out that I had a little bit of extra perk that I wasn't expecting. It was just that my husband and my relationship and our marriage got a lot stronger, and that can also represent, from the bedroom. And this cozy little spot was me feeling like I could have a place to reflect, have time to ponder, have time to read and research, because it's a nice little cozy reading nook. This came to happen. This happened to be in January when I did a shelf styling class, and I was a guest in someone's home, and I taught it live on Facebook, and I also saved it. But I also was able to share with other people how to create a beautiful look, shopping your home or buying things from the stores. Like I was able to style shelves. I was able to do this really fun styling class, and it brought me a lot of joy. Of course, the pictures of money is self-explanatory, resourceful and loving it, a pile of money, and with a piggy bank, meaning I'm trying to save money. Break out of her comfort zone. This was very important to me because I had really, really wanted to start transitioning from just doing Instant Pot only things to also doing sharing about the home and interior design. And I was scared. I had anxiety about it. I'd been wanting to do it for 2 years, and I kept waiting on it. And I decided to go ahead, and I kept looking at this and kept getting that courage because I knew that's what I needed to do. I knew deep inside for me to find the most joy and happiness in finding my dream and purpose in life, I needed to listen to my gut. I needed to go ahead and make those changes. And so that represented that. This is me stepping more into my business role and improving my photography. And what else? I can't read it backwards. Limited, share the warmth, be open to change, open up to change. So this was, again, me changing brands, me changing things. It's all about you. I felt really guilty about this one because I didn't want it to, that felt really selfish to say, hey, it's all about you. But you know what? I needed to make this vision board was about me. So it was okay that I made this vision board all about me and about what I want and what my desires are. And knowing that as I show up for my gifts, showing up, using my gifts, showing up, blessing others with my gifts, I'm actually not being selfish. I am benefiting everyone when I show up truly as myself. And dream, of course, is there. Some beautiful styling outfits, things that I feel like an interior designer, stepping into that role of being an interior designer wears. And nature is very healing to me. So being out in nature and spending time to be grounded and reset in nature is very important. Continuing education, I went to several conferences. I've purchased and enrolled in courses. I have blown my mind with how much I've learned this year in trying to run a business. So there's a blank space here. Let's talk about that guy. It used to say the word free on it. And the reason I was drawn to the word free is I wanted to feel free. I wanted to feel free to follow my dreams and not worrying about what anyone else thought or anything. And so that's initially why I felt drawn to putting that word on that board. Well, in about July, I recognized that every time I saw that word free on this board, it made me think and associate, I'm working for free. I have to give everything for free. And I was tired of doing everything for free, working hours and hours for free. And I decided, you know what, it's time for me to start making money at doing this, and I'm not going to do things for free anymore. Because I'm able to show up better when I have the money and the tools for continuing education, for improving my website, all those things that need money. I need to have that money coming in. So I took that word off, and I kid you not, within 2 days, I had three emails in my inbox with sponsorship opportunities and whatnot, because I took the word free off my board. And so I was no longer working for free. Then this last one, this is where I hoped to be by the end of the year. And this is me representing me being cozy, being comfortable, being absolutely at peace with being myself, with being my true self. That, I mean, finally allowing myself to just be who I wanted to be, and trusting and being completely comfortable and knowing that everything was going to be okay. And that's where I wanted, and then I wanted to be at home with that. So I hope you enjoyed all this and can help you learn how it might apply to you as you're drawing upon your vision board and as you're creating your vision board. It is a powerful thing. All of these things have happened that I've put on this board have happened this year. And I'm creating my vision board for next year. And I have already started experiencing a little bit of resistance, going, I don't know if I want to cut that out. But I felt drawn to cutting something out. I'm like, okay, trust the process, that as I cut and clip and paste and put on my board the things that I'm feeling pulled and drawn towards, it's all for my good. It'll all be for your good. Just trust the process. Don't overthink it too much, and then put it on your board, and you're going to be wowed with the results. And keep your board where you can see it, where you can visualize it every day, where as you start going on certain paths, you can look back at your board and be like, wait, does this new opportunity reflect things that I really want that are on this board? And you can steer course, change directions. Maybe you need to speed up direction and something. So anyway, I'm excited as you make your boards. I'd love if you wanted to share with me or tag me so I can see that at Genuine Home. I'd love to see all your guys' excitement and see what happens and I'm excited to see what my 2020 board is going to show up like next year.